Mark has been engaged in quite a lot of campaigns and organising within his branch. He's been driving increases in membership numbers across his branch, and he's had some really successful campaigns for things like the Harbour Masters up in Orkney Islands Council.
So I was approached by the Harbour Masters to look at their payments for antisocial hours. We had a look at it. We figured out that Orkney Islands Council, although sticking to policy, weren't treating them fairly. So we battled it out. We got them a 2.8% pay rise, backdated 3 years. And the fact that we did it and we got an action on it has increased our membership inside the harbours by 50% approximately.
They got improved PPE and improved drying facilities. And it underlines that Mark is member focused through everything that he does, and is really liked amongst his membership up in Orkney and across the north of Scotland.
I think what Mark is really skilled at is listening to the frustrations of members and then driving that forward into actions.
We had dash cams fitted to our collection vehicles for domestic waste. We found that the management were using them inappropriately, so we got a policy written to protect the drivers and the collecting crew.
I think there was a lot of concern from the members around how that data was going to be used or potentially how it might be misused.
We actually had the audio disabled inside the dash cams so that they couldn't be recorded having conversations inside the cabs,
which the members were very, very pleased about.
The work Mark did, bringing a menopause policy into Orkney Council, has made the workplace much more inclusive.
The staff can have different working places and working conditions if they have menopausal symptoms, etc.
I would like to congratulate Mark on this because it's not an easy job that he does. And he excels at it, and he's well liked by his members. He's well liked by everyone that he deals with, and he has done a brilliant job representing his members up there in Orkney.
I'm highly honoured.
He doesn't just build his membership across his branch, he genuinely builds worker power from the ground up.
Gina was nominated because of the very thoughtful and inclusive work that she's doing in the UCU branch at the University of Edinburgh to promote trans equality and to challenge hostility and prejudice.
I first got involved with the union around 2019. I already had friends who were involved in LGBT networks, and it seemed like the logical next step because it seemed like the most relevant human rights organisation, the most influential one to join. I'm part of a broader network of unions and non-union people and bodies that work together to support LGBT rights in Edinburgh and at Edinburgh University.
You know, she's got a lived experience as a trans woman, and she's been good at tackling the myths and the misconceptions that are out there about trans people, trans staff, trans students. And we're really proud of the work that she's taken forward.
I get a lot of motivation from the fact that there's an overlap, absolutely, with my own life. This is a very important time for LGBT reps across the UK and outside of the UK. This is our time to really stand up and defend LGBT rights in all kinds of ways. It can be in terms of the distressing, dehumanising narratives that are coming out from the media, for example, or from certain politicians. We have to be here at Edinburgh University and throughout all British universities. We have to defend both the right to free speech on campus, but also the right to defend the dignity and respect of LGBT people. We're combining the importance of protest when it's needed with creating opportunities and events for LGBT people to celebrate their identities. I see this award as symbolic, powerfully symbolic, as an affirmation of LGBT people and the work that we do at Edinburgh University. So having this very powerful affirmation that trans people are seen, LGBT people are seen, and are recognised and are affirmed, I think that's very powerful for me. On top of that is the affirmation that we get from the work that we do here at Edinburgh University, of my work and the work of my colleagues in supporting trans people and LGBT people more generally.
Congratulations, Gina. We're so proud of you here in UCU. You've worked so hard, you're a great role model for trans people.
Well, my name is Sean Paul Gracie and I'm an upholsterer at City Building. I've been working here for 6 years since I left school.
So Sean came into RSBI few years ago through our schools programme. Sean went to an ESN school and he spent some time in here through that programme. He then gained employment with RSBI.
Sean's been a member of the community for about 5.5 years. He wasn't initially involved in the learning through the Scottish Union Learning, but it's been at least 3 years that he's been actively involved in the learning in the Learning Centre. His
experience of learning at school wasn't the best, so he was a wee bit apprehensive about going back into the classroom. However, he quickly learned that the learning that we do at RSBI is a wee bit different from what you do at school.
The courses that we deliver through RSBI, through Scottish Union Learning and through the Multiply funding are literacy and numeracy courses.
So Sean started doing maths anxiety with us, that was 2 years ago through the Multiply funding, and also he done literacies with the Scottish Union Learning Fund.
In school, the teachers, obviously everyone's got different learning needs in that. In school you couldn't really get that, but in here, Stephen, he can adapt to you, and once you get to know him, he's a really great guy.
So like a lot of other guys in the factory, it's adjustments have got to be made to the learning. And that sometimes it's just about tailoring it to individuals. When he was doing his numeracy for manufacturing, you're looking at how number systems are involved in, you know, building an architect's drawings. And our first talking about doing design briefs was we just got a bucket of Lego out, and then it was build something with a Lego and produce instructions for it.
So he's went from not only learning the skills that he needs in day-to-day life and budgeting and things like that, he's went from that to being able to apply those skills in his job that he does, which benefits the employer as well.
We recognise as an employer that the benefits this brings to our workforce and how they contribute to our outcomes as an organisation, but we also recognise the benefits of education, training, upskilling brings for an individual's social mobility.
I know that his peers have all noticed the difference in him and the effect and the impact it's had on him doing this learning. It's brilliant to see and he should be really proud of himself.
I would say we are so proud of you. You know, keep in there, keep doing what you're doing. You've got our support, you know, you've got the trade union support.
Sean, you've worked really hard, about 4 or 5 courses you've done now, and I just want to say congratulations and well done on the hard work.
It was a nice surprise, it was, because obviously I've always thought that my disability always held me back and that stuff, and then I found out about this, and then I've kind of went, my disability doesn't define me now.
My name is Nuala Ash and I'm a Regional Learning Organiser for Unite the Union. I nominated Stephen because he's used his lived experiences of dyslexic thinking to champion inclusive learning within Stagecoach, Unite the Union and beyond.
I've always been quite passionate about volunteering, sharing my knowledge with being dyslexic and just making sure that people have access to learning. So as a union learning rep, I help our fellow reps to get their training, organising, get them sorted into training, and any support that any other drivers or members of staff need. The type of training I've done or organised is getting people with a better understanding of what learning needs they need, as well as helping educate people on what neurodiversity is, what dyslexia is, and how that can affect people in a day-to-day life.
It wasn't anyone, it was actually doing the dyslexia for Aberdeen. He stepped in partnership with Unite the Union Aberdeen, and now we are actually training people with dyslexia. It was a stigma years ago. We're breaking down the stigma, and it's helping people now to go back and say, well, now I can learn.
I've spoken quite openly about dyslexia, and if they have questions, they come to me.
The impact that Stephen has had within the union is to make us more aware of neurodiversity within Learn with Unite, within Unite Education. He has helped some of our tutors with supports within the classroom environment.
With me being open about it, it's showing that people can open up and say, I've got issues, I've got dyslexia, I've got whatever neurodiversity they have.
It's a great achievement for him, especially with dyslexia, and getting it on the map again, that it's no a stigma anymore and it's no a barrier for training.
You can be open to your company about it, you can discuss it, and there is help and support there. To be nominated or even considered to be nominated for it is unique. It's showing that I'm going down the right path. I'm getting recognised for being open and being me.
Congratulations, Stephen. Keep on doing what you're doing.
I've known Jean and Fiona 15, 20 years, great reps. They've been part of our health and safety committee for the last 15 years.
Because of the relationship that I have with the university, that is why we're a lot better than most with HSE.
The health and safety executive tend to regulate more often within the higher education sector. When they come on site, Fiona and Jean have always been alerted to that by the local HSE inspector. More importantly, getting notified of the outcomes of those regulatory inspections by the HSEs, and they're able to influence the employers, not just their health and safety policy, all the procedures that affect the health, safety and wellbeing of our members across, not just across St Andrews, across the HE sector, which is fantastic.
We go as far up as the principal's office. So we're in from the bottom, from the worker's point of view, all the way up. It doesn't just stop at the people within Unison, it still goes up higher.
Jean and Fiona have used our annual violence survey to pick that up with the Corporate Safety Committee at St Andrews, and this has led in partly for the university to look at gender-based violence, so they're reviewing their policies and procedures, and Jean and Fiona have fed into that.
We have regular meetings based on gender-based violence. We have a gender-based violence policy that was set up that we were involved in.
I think the other strength of Jean and Fiona is their knowledge of the legislation, the Safety Reps and Safety Committees regulations, Health and Safety at Work Act, Management of Health and Safety at Work regulations. They've used those regulations in a number of different areas.
She is great, she is fantastic. I've never met anybody in all the years and all the roles that everybody's had through the years, and none of them have been a patch on Fiona. She's like me, she tells it like it is.
It's been great working with Jean, but yeah, like I said, Jean will help anybody out. She really would.
Hopefully we'll get more reps and we can only get better. Because health and safety will never ever go away.
I'm absolutely shocked getting this, to be honest. It's nice as well to get the recognition.
I would never in a million years thought I was worthy of this.
We're all at Unison extremely proud of you, and just to say to Jean, we know you retire at the end of April. Well done in your retirement, absolutely earned it, and all the best going forward.